Hey everyone, and welcome to Mario Kart Central. We're going to be watching the finals here for Resolution. Going to be pretty exciting stuff. And we had, I believe, around 28 entrants kind of come in today. And now we are all the way down to 12. And it's a very interesting 12. I mean, we have Spec, Sebi, Jasmine, Jordy, Squids, Zeeb, Royal, Stevens, James, John Slater, Ryans, and Maxim. And it was incredibly close in a majority of the rooms getting down. There were some players that didn't make it. I'm aware some have overslept. And joined alongside me for the ride today is going to be one of the players that got eliminated very narrowly, and that's going to be Kyret. So Kyret, you're a serial free-for-all specialist on top of, obviously competing in the 66 side of things. But how did your room go, and kind of tell us your experience about some of the players you played with, because that was a very close battle that came down to the final turn.
So my room was basically all of the good players, and Samuel from our local tournament actually tied with me going into the last race, and then Moo Meadows, we had a 4-point spread between third to sixth, so it was anyone's game to steal to the third and fourth spot throughout the entire room, which is a scenario I was in the game to give FFA. So I'm really familiar with that fringe kind of area, so it was a really familiar experience. It's just that I couldn't pull it out in the end because Maxim took the win on the last race, so he got the spot into the finals.
Yeah, Maxim ended up taking that win there as Waluigi, and yeah, there were about I think another 4 of you that were very close. It was you, Samuel, and Samuel, by the way, is his first competitive tournament. He is the #1 free-for-all player on the West Coast. He also had the privilege of racing with Hydro from StarClan and Darky, if you're familiar with kind of the IRL free-for-all scene. So great to see him come in. He was challenged pretty heavily. Obviously, the caliber of players here with the international players, a lot different than just some straight-up casuals. But played against Darky, played against Hydro from StarClan in a huge battle the past week. And then you also had Blythe from Equivoke. He was in there as well, very close. And I believe it was TI or TLC, TIC. I don't know.
Yeah,
the name,
TITILC, yeah.
Yeah, had that underscore in there. So all of you guys were close. I think there was a 3-way tie for 6, you said?
At one point, no, it was a 2-way tie for me and Sam. I don't remember what the 7th place points got, but I do know that Ridge was not anywhere close to the top 7, but I know that the top 7 were really in contention for the 4th spot.
Yeah, so basically just kind of give you a rundown of how the tournaments work so far. It is Resolution here for New Leaf eSports, and they are a really cool organization if you haven't heard from them. This is, I think, their second major online tournament that they run. They are trying to basically plan the sort of LAN tournaments, I guess you could say, for Europe, primarily I think out of London. And so what was really cool about this is it was a $5 GBP, euros, or dollar equivalent to enter, and 50% of the proceeds went to funding the Embrace 2 LAN tournament, and then another half of that is going into the pot here. So realistically, my math serves correctly, I think first place is going to be fighting for around 35 pounds, euros, dollars, that equivalent roughly, so to speak. But 28 players should be pretty exciting to see exactly what happens there. And this is a huge group, by the way. I mean, Maxim was very clutch. Ryans is a top player. John Slater's back in action. You have James, who was one of the tire contenders there of the group, along with Stevens. Royal as well, being one of the top players in his room. Squid's coming in. Zeeb, very familiar with the free-for-all format. Jasmine, Sebi, and Spec. Sebi's going to be one to watch as well. So, Kyret, any kind of thoughts here at this point?
Not really. I feel like this finals is just going to be really close between all of them, and there's not going to just be one person running away with it. So I feel like all people can definitely have a contention for at least top 3.
Makes perfect sense. So we are just getting a look at a few things here. I know that we do have, I believe it is going to be Jasmine's point of view here. So, Kyret, feel free to, give some tips. And real quick, I'm going to get you set up with this so we can kind of all be on the same page when we get to casting. But yeah, just kind of, I guess what maybe the question asked would be is, what are some of your tips from a free-for-all side of things. And now knowing that these are the final 12 players, these 12 players obviously all very skilled, all come from very high divisions. What will they have to do to kind of outsmart and win the top spot here?
Well, at least for me, my strat for FFAs is usually try to be not in the mid pack as much, because if you're in the mid pack or like even in the front, like not even that far away from everyone, you're gonna get hit. And if you're in the back bagging, you're not gonna get hit. So you can just go up to the front like end of lap 3, and you'll be able to like get the top 3 much easier than if you were just playing in the mid pack and running. So I guess that's my tip of the day. I don't know.
So different strategies going to come into play. I'm pretty excited to see exactly like what's going to happen here. I'm not familiar with a few of these names. And what was interesting too is that there were some of these entries. I think Jordy was one of them, where Ridge actually paid for a few players to enter the tournament. So it's a great to kind of see the community kind of getting involved too. I know our scene messaged us and wanted to get some PH involved. Unfortunately, none of us made it. A lot of higher level players, obviously, so I didn't know what to expect just from watching and casting this. But I do think that this is going to be a pretty big and close match, especially with, I'm guessing there's going to be at least 6 or 7 guys that are going to be in a cluster throughout this entire thing. And I don't know what position that's for, but I would expect, just from what we've seen in the past couple of rooms, that is for sure possible. So I'll also kind of keep posted if anyone's in the chat for Twitch, want to say what's up. We'll keep you posted. But at the very least, it's super cool, Kyret, that we're doing this event, just because of the fact that I think, the free-for-all format, obviously, we're known here for MKC at the team-based type of level, but the free-for-alls are a lot of fun, and especially, too, when you're helping out a great cause, and New Leaf Esports is kind of trying to expand the scene in the UK and also throughout, Europe, and getting some European players involved. It's definitely fun, because what would you say, Kyret, about kind of with Embrace coming up in April of 2020. That's going to happen, I think, in London. How
Mm-hmm.
does, it's one thing to be playing online, right? But we're one of the, the unique teams that
Mm-hmm.
have the luxury of having that face-to-face connection on a day-to-day basis, or week by week basis.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right? But like,
yeah.
how would you say that differs a little bit from the online side of things?
So FFAs, like in like a LAN kind of setting, there's a lot less lag, obviously, then the netcode just gets in your way. But it's a very different experience when you're in a place playing with people next to you. It's really hard to explain, but like when you just have someone next to you playing the same game you are in the same lobby that you are, it's a really different experience, just because you can like hear like the energy that's going on, you can hear the casters, you can hear everything going on, and it's like the strat that you use just completely changes, in my opinion, when you're in like an actually like, local place than online, I feel.
The benefit is everyone's going to be online for this one, so
Yeah.
that's going to be, at least for a lot. I mean, all these players, basically, that's going to fall right into their wheelhouse, so no disadvantage there. I was surprised to see, really, Samuel being one of the few casual players. I wouldn't say casual, but non MKC team based free agents. Essentially, he's a free
Hmm.
agent, come in and play as well as he did, competing up, especially in your room. Your room was so
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
So with this one, I think, it's going to be realistically be 12 races. It's going to be really realistically winner take all. I do believe, just to go over the rules here pretty quickly, that the winnings do go to the top 3. So first gets 50%, second gets 30%, third gets 20%. That's going to probably be based out of, if there were 28 players starting, the I think it's £5 or euros. I'm horrible with currency. Realistically, there's like $70, 70 euros up for grabs, 35 going to the winner, the other 35 roughly or so going between second and third. All that's going to be obviously official by the staff at New Leaf Esports, but
Hmm.
that's realistically what's on the line here.
Right. And I believe I saw a message like earlier in the New Leads Discord that they were adding another 50 euros to the pot. I could be
They
wrong on
were.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I totally forgot about that. So that's huge. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see exactly how this is going to go. I'm going to also be taking a look too at some of the players that I don't know from this group, and kind of getting a little bit of a read on them as well. I think you have Jasmine from Cherish Squids, who was going to be commentating this event, in there from Cherish as well. And you did see the names earlier with, Sebi, Stevens, Maxim, Slater. I mean, this is a big group, and it's good to see John Slater back too.
Yeah. So I think we're getting into it. Apparently on my side we have Jasmine just picking tracks, so we're actually about to get into this, it seems.
We are, yeah. So a couple tracks being selected here. And also, too, if you aren't familiar with this format, Kyret, just correct me if I'm wrong, but you did have the ability to ban a track. Is that correct? Every player
Yes.
did?
Yes, every single player has the ability to ban one track, and multiple people can obviously ban different tracks, but and you can ban the same track twice, but no one would know that since you're doing it in DMs. But our first track is going to be Electrodrome. I still don't know why there's an R in this track, but I don't make this game.
Yeah. I don't either, but yes, it is. We've gotten into this a lot. It is drone with an R. If you're here from English, we're going to be going off here with Jasmine, and it's going to be that's Royal Alroy. It's just I think a
Yeah.
variation of his name there, and that might be James. But we're going to have a lot of Waluigi wigglers, so we'll have to figure this out as we go. And one of the things that I like to do is get a notepad up so I can remember the combination. But looking at his review, it's going to be Royal, Slater there, and Squids behind Jasmine here as he's
Yeah.
going in second place. It's
And
got
I
the
see
bomb though,
Daruk.
secondary.
Yeah, and I saw Daruk going onto the green path. I don't really know which path is faster. I think pink is, but some people prefer to take green just to, avoid items and whatnot. So taking green is sometimes a good strat. But I would have probably chained the coin for a different item, but I guess he wants to hold on in case of a boo, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, he does get hit with a boomerang though, and so now it looks like it is going to be the Morton player moving up, and I think that Morton was likely. I'm not sure if that was Royal or not, but Stevens and Squids kind of in the general vicinity here, and then this is Jasmine here with the bomb. Is he going to opt to throw it down another lane? He does. Throws it to green. Jordy gets hit. Even Squids gets hit from the other side.
Wow.
Did you see that? How it kind of
Yeah,
hit both lanes?
yeah. I don't know how that worked. Squidge was in the purple path and he still got hit by it, so that was kind of strange.
I saw a Twitter video of a player hopping lanes, going from green to pink.
How do
And
you
because
do that?
there is a narrow, just if you're not aware of this, I'm sure some upper level divisions players do. There is a lane where you can actually hop over. But right now, going into the third lap, it's going to be Slater in the lead. Daruk using that air horn does have right there a red shell, and the fire hits and connects and backs Jasmine. All sorts of stuff is happening. Squids was there in third. Royal passes. The player goes up in a bullet. And this is just that chaos that comes in at the end of the third lap, Kyret.
Yeah, and now Jasmine is all the way in the back after being in the front, all the way in last. That's not where you want to be at the end of lap 3. But pulls a star and a mushroom. In front is, I believe that's Ryan's, the Zuriel. I'm pretty sure that's Ryan's. I could be wrong though.
I think Ryan's is SC Love Me because Ryan's is
Maybe.
I could be wrong, but
I mean, I had Zuriel in my room, so I think that's Ryan's. But
okay.
Jasmine getting last on the first race, that's not where they want to be at all. Slater getting first, Dirk getting second, Steven getting 3. Round of got your top 3 there.
You are right. Yeah, that's not Ryan's, but yeah, that was an unfortunate finish there for Jasmine, getting last there. But just got that barrage of items. Just got hit with the fire, decked by the bullet, and then that's really all it takes. I know you were in that situation, and I was watching Ridge's point of view in that first room, and I think it was RYV. Just you're just getting that barrage of items, and sometimes you just can't help it.
Actually, RYV is the race I won. I believe it was Neo Bowser City, where I was trying to take the cut, end of lap 3. Sam hits me with a fireball. He hits me with another fireball. I get hit with a green, and I get 8th. And I was going to get 3rd. And that happened to a lot of times at the end of lap 3. So it's just, you need to keep that consistency all the way to the end, because the end of lap 3 is probably the most crucial point to be on your game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to be heading into Big Blue, which is kind of a slightly less common track to be picked. But I'm guessing with 12 track bands, that's kind of opened the door for some pretty unique tracks to be picked here. So, man, lots of Waluigi Wigglers. We're going to keep going. Surreal is Ryan's, by the way, so you are correct. SC Love Me, I am trying to figure out who that is because of just the me name change. But it is another Star Clan member. Stevens is up there as well, and it does look like kind of, in that whole shot there, it is going to be Ryan's.
All right. Jasmine for red in 4th, right in front of him being Ryan, Slater, and Alroy, it seems.
That's
Taking.
Royal from BL, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're not familiar.
Got you. And pulls a bomb right next to a green dragging from Ryan's. Takes the cut, and I'm assuming he's gonna take. Nope, gets hit by a boomerang, then takes the cut. Now he's in 9th, so he needs to catch up real quick because Big Blue is not a bagging track. But the glider box is coming up next, so maybe he can pull something good here and catch up.
So he does get triple shrooms followed by a golden. So that is going to be not really helpful here, just given all of the
boost panels
and everything. But he is going to. Oh, he can't chain one because of the way that the box is kind of sorted out. So he's going to have to try and find a double here and see if he can.
I don't think he's going to get it.
He can't find anything.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't. He missed all the item boxes. Can't even.
Oh, and that fire's coming in. I don't know how.
And the
he horn.
That. Oh, wow, he did actually. Wow, that was really good. Pulls triple mushrooms in 5th. That's actually really going to help. Piranhas goes into 4th and steals 4th away from everyone after all that barrage of items. So good finish for him.
Yeah, that was huge there.
Slater taking the double win. Wow.
Slater there taking the double win. He's going to be the Morton that we're going to keep an eye on. And that was honestly, I would take 4th after that, like that heart pounding type of sequence with just getting boxed out of items.
Yeah. Oh, got it. Thanks, Cinda, for the very useful information.
What's funny is I knew that too, and I don't know if I said he, so I apologize. But thanks, Cinda. It's funny because I actually, oh man, that's dumb.
This is why I was saying they at first, and then I started saying he, so I apologize.
I kept thinking of Jazzy probably, but yeah, Jasmine she's doing an incredible job, especially after that. Just given the fact that she was open and so vulnerable for that whole second part of Big Blue, and given that there were at least, I believe, 3 item box opportunities. You have the one after the boost ramps. You have the one kind of after that little trick section as you're going into the series of boost ramps, winding to the finish, and then the one right before the finish too. So pretty crazy stuff, but we are going to be heading to Grumble Volcano here for our 3rd race.
I just realized that 7 of the 12 people are from the UK in this lobby.
Yeah, they noticed that in the Twitch chat as well. So 7 from the UK. We have a series of Waluigi Wigglers, and we'll see if the UK is able to pull this one out. But they're really chasing John Slater, 2-0 right now.
Yeah,
coming back with a vengeance, and I don't believe he is active on a team yet, but I could be wrong. I don't know if he's taking a break after GVP, but he's been rumored to be making his way down to the States for the free for all scene. We almost thought he was going to be in one of those tournaments.
I think I think he said he was coming in June with maybe some other Canadian racers. So June is going to be an interesting time for the FFA scene here in Vegas. But we have Jasmine in 9th with a ghost. Uses it, which I guess I would use it there. Gets triple reds from it with a star. She's probably going to chain at this box. At least that's what I would do. Or uses it a little bit before. Has triple reds, throws it at Alroy, throws it at Love Me. Love Me goes into the bullet. But now Jasmine has 1 red left and a star. Uses the red, uses the star, chains the double item box.
Yeah, that was huge. And has that, well, now it's primary, but in pocket had that blue shell.
Blue shell.
So that's going to go hit that Roy player. And Jordy kind of fighting in there as well. Didn't have got wrecked by that bomb there on ED. Haven't seen too much of Jordy. Now has the other star with his bullet now coming into play. So could change some dodges here going into this final lap.
Blue hits. I'm gonna say that's James. I could be wrong though, because there's 3 Roys, but I'm just gonna say that the Roy in first was James. Jasmine using the bullet, going up to 4th, and yeah, that was James. Going up to 4th. Gotta watch out for those triple greens from James, or else bad times are gonna happen. James backs one of them though.
Yeah, that was very smart of Jasmine to step off there. Just given the fact that he had all that stuff. So we see Spec up here now.
Takes the cut.
Takes the cut. Gonna try and maybe throw the screen. Nope, just gonna hang on.
No, just gonna take second. Yeah, that's the smart move. I would take second in that scenario as well. Good
Blue
finish
shell,
for her.
Not really a factor there either. So we're seeing a UK top 3. Spec Jasmine. James Slater though goes down to 11th.
11th.
Now has a 4-point lead here over James.
Yeah. It's gonna be really close between Slater and James. It seems going into the fourth race.
Yeah, I was just noticing that too, with the fact that New Leaf is primarily European and primarily has, I believe, a majority of their staff based out of the UK. It is good to see that a lot of the UK players did rise to the top. And
Yeah.
I mean, now Slater though has a 4-point lead here over James. Realistically, the top three are going to be walking away here with some money out of this one. I mean, honestly, I like the free for all element just because it's fun and just because you're able to race against players that need to defend for themselves, right? You don't have the whole benefit of the team blocking, tackling, and protecting you, or leveraging on runners. It's just you. So I think that that's pretty cool. And you can kind of get in the mind of some of these top players and how they play a certain track individually to their own style. Obviously, this is something we talked about too, Kyret, with some other casters here. Like you have a team style, right? We have like our team style with shock usage. There's other teams that try to do unique things and kind of play the mid pack or just be dominant essentially. Every team has their own system, but it's really cool seeing in the free for all side of things as we head into DAC how each individual player plays.
So we're going to autumn, it seems. What is your favorite season out of Animal Crossing, by the way?
I'd probably say fall, autumn, yeah.
I'd actually probably say summer or spring, just because of all the ramps and just how pretty it looks. Autumn does look pretty, though. But we have Jasmine in fourth at the balloons. Misses all of the item boxes, but luckily had a red shell to dodge the other red shell. But red shell's going to hit her, so it didn't matter. Goes back, gets the coins, which I guess that's the right play. But there's a lot of people bagging, which honestly surprises me. Like half the room is bagging on this track. I wouldn't say that's the right play, but
I mean, you can, and I think you got to keep an eye on Stevens because obviously this is his home field advantage here. He's there in 10th. He's right up above Jasmine. So we're gonna have to see what Jasmine does here. Still in 10th. She's gonna be getting a golden shroom, so that'll be temporarily helpful, I think. But she's gonna hold on to it for a little bit. James bulleting up there in 11th, and we're seeing that other Roy player getting hit with that shell. So now the pack's just all bundled up. Crazy 8 here coming out in 12th. I think they're too close to really.
Yeah.
We're not seeing too many shocks because the pack.
Have we seen a shock at all?
No.
Wow.
I don't think we will the way that they're playing, at least just yet, unless
we get like Cheeseland or something. Unless we get like Cheeseland or something.
Yeah, or maybe like a DYC or dry. But yeah. Now third lap here. This is a great option to chain, and it is going to be Jasmine sticking with this star. Does have that mushroom coming in. You see Stevens all the way up there in third. He's got to watch out for this star. Oh, he gets hit. And now here goes. There's Spec, I believe, that's up there in first. Stevens coming into play here. It's got to circulate that red shell behind. Good job, because Stevens had that red coming in.
That was Maximum in first.
Maximum in first.
And I think top three was Maxim, Jasmine, and Stevens, yeah. And Slater got 11th again. Now Specs in the lead with 1 point. Jasmine and Slater both in second, and James in third and fourth by 1 point each. Wow. So Jasmine is stealing this top four right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of an incredible finish, and I think it just shows you, right, that Slater did have those 2 wins, came out of the gates super strong. But this is a problem that I'm actually having in the free for all scene right now. Is I think Kyret, we're probably the 2 most winningest players in terms of wins, right? But then you look to see how you finish, you look to see how I finish, right? And it's just because those 11s and those 12s and those, whether it's even getting back at the line, the consistency plays such a huge factor. Obviously, the wins and the podiums help with getting that 3 or 2 point bonus, but that's something Slater needs to keep an eye on because he clearly started off things right. Hopefully that the momentum doesn't shift and get away from him. Especially too, he's repping Canada in a very UK, Great Britain heavy type of a room. But we are going to be going to Moo Moo Meadows, so
kind of. What are you talking about, Knight? This is Cow Cow Farm. This is Cow Cow Farm, Knight. I thought you knew this.
I don't get your references.
No one else gets it either, except like a couple people.
So here we go. Maxim going to opt to slightly go back. He might be taking the inside line here. He does. Steven's there as well. And there is that rose gold peach, and I tried to write their name down, but we'll see it as it pops back up. Spec there.
I think the pink gold peach is Spec. I think the pink gold peach is Spec. Yeah, pink gold peach is Spec.
It is Spec. You're right.
Yeah, but Jasmine just got hit by air. She literally got hit by absolutely nothing. So when we say we get hit by air, that's a prime example of getting hit by air. So whenever we say that, we're not lying. That's how good this game is. But we have Jasmine in around 10th or 9th right now. Back with James and Jordy at the moment. And Spec and Stevens right in front of her. Opts to bag a little bit, which I don't know if that's the right play considering it's Booma Meadows and it's kind of hard to catch up. But she's going to try to go past Alroy over here and Jordy as well. Taking the cut. And just taking the single box here, right behind James. And I still believe, yep, James and Jordy still right in front of her. Which is just a prime example of, hey, you can't catch up that easily on Booma Meadows. Like, it's going to take a bit.
Yeah, so the battle at the front, I would like to say it's going to be between Slater, that Morton, and then also that's going to be one of the SC players from with the Japan flag. SC loves to be up there. So something to keep an eye on if you are up front. Unfortunately for Jasmine, it's going to be very difficult to kind of come back from this, this being such a front-running base type of a track.
Yeah.
And we do see, I think Slater got hit there. This is going to be, I think SC loves me taking this one. No, something happened. Maybe Slater did.
Well, I think Slater got that, yeah. Right at the end, but it looked like both Slater and whoever that Roy was in front got
Slater, Squids, Daruk, and look at that, John Slater back in the front by 7 points.
Yeah, that was SC Love Me. You were right, yeah. It's so hard to tell though, because there's so many Roys in this lobby. Same with all Luigi's.
I'm gonna ask the chat for a lifeline here, so we'll see who that Star Clan player is. I saw Ryland in there, so maybe we can get a word on. I'll call them Love Me. I mean, everyone that has the ability to use their me, and I didn't get to write down a list prior to going in here. Especially too, I mean, let's just talk about that. I mean, we have players, especially too, with a lot of UK-based players, a lot of Eastern time zone players. But Kyret, why don't you just, as we're waiting for this race to go in, just describe your day? Like, at 9 a.m. You're gonna be probably playing Mario Kart till what, like 11 or 1 a.m.
Yeah. So I was actually gonna pull an all-nighter like I did with the other day that I played 3 tournaments in one day, which was the Game to Give FFA day, like round 2, where I had to play the Game to Give FFA. I think it was agility as well as SNS. And so today is kind of similar to the fact that I had to play an online FFA, I have to play Amplify, and I also have to play SNS. So I woke up at like 8 o'clock after setting 3 alarms because I decided sleep was necessary. So after this, Knight and I and the rest of the clan, as well as all of you probably, are going into Amplify for a couple team tournaments. And then later at night, we're going into a LAN FFA tournament where I could take $200 as the first prize. But
okay,
Jasmine,
calm down. Let's get back to the action. Kyret.
Okay, you told me how to.
Good. Well, Jasmine unfortunately got just she ran into something there. You know, you can be magnets for inanimate objects. I'm not gonna comment on that further because honestly, that's happened to me more than my fair share of times, and definitely to others. But she does get a great pull here, and honestly, this is going to be good. Oh, but she gets booed with those triple shrooms, but she is going to be able to take the cut here going into the second lap.
Yeah, I noticed when watching Stevens in the first room that he opted to hold on to mushrooms for a while in this track. So maybe Stevens is catching on to something when you're in the front that maybe you should hold on to mushrooms even if you take the Nisk. So maybe that's what Stevens is trying to do right in front of Jasmine here.
Yeah, you have the Nisk into that. I mean, it's arguably the second to last final turn if you count that little chicane right before the finish as a turn. But you obviously can use the shrooms for the cut coming up here as we see where Jasmine is. She's now all the way back up to 5th. She's not going to opt to take the cut. She's going to hold on this mushroom, which was smart to take what would be a Nisk, but she's taking the cut with the shroom and now going to be going back down. That's what I talked about, that little S snake type of a turn with chicane. And so now she's here in 4th. She's got to watch out for Squids because Squids does have the green shells coming into play. And she is getting way too close, in my opinion. Good for her. She kind of ducks to the left a little bit to avoid getting back.
Yeah, because you really don't want to be behind someone with any dragged item because there's always the chance that they're going to back you and your race will be ruined. So it's never a good idea to stay behind anyone with a drag item, in my opinion.
So she does opt to take the cut there. Gonna go for the Nisk here. She lands it beautifully. 10 on the landing. And she does have these 3 shells, but she's going to let Daruk go away with it. She's just going to play
Yeah.
defensively. And that's a smart move because Daruk and
Yeah.
James were right behind her. And you were even telling me, you know, James was drifting into me with stars, or that was Maxim. James falls back to 5th. So just a lot of different things happening there. But Slater now with a 2-point lead over Daruk. I didn't catch where Slater finished, but
yeah, I
it's
didn't
just
either.
super close here.
I think it was somewhere in the mid pack, like 6th or 7th, but I couldn't really tell that well.
All right, so SC Love Me is Seb. Okay, that's what.
Okay.
But yeah, so that is Sebi. So we're seeing like a lot of different things kind of come into play here. You know, the consistency for Slater. He is still, by the way, in the lead, but there are just players on his heels right now in this one. So pretty excited. I think we're getting word too. We were talking with our team. We're going to have him potentially swing by for an interview, maybe towards the end after the races go. Get some official words from him and some closing thoughts. But we're halfway through at this point, and we're seeing another interesting track selection coming up into play. It is going to be Sweet Sweet Canyon, or Diabetes Land as we call it, if you are a fan of sweets. But I think what's interesting about this is that you got to be thinking this is a 7th race, and every one of these 12 players has banned a track. So realistically, you normally have 48 tracks you can select, but now, if my math serves me right, you're going to have 36. So that's a big chunk. You're losing about a quarter of your arsenal, and all these players are very skilled in their own right. Obviously, they made it this far, but you kind of wonder. I mean, we're not seeing RWS, we're not seeing Mount Wario, we're not seeing certain staple types of tracks. We're not seeing Sunshine Airport, so you got to wonder what some of these players picked.
Right. And another thing, there might be the chance that like 2 people ban the same track and therefore some more tracks are open, so that's also a possibility. So it's 36 at minimum.
Or at the most. Well,
No,
yeah, at the minimum. Yeah, at the minimum.
Yeah,
You're right.
minimum,
I'm thinking the other way, but I follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
So Jasmine
Focusing
does
on
have
the
that.
race.
Yeah, she does have that Piranha Plant. Now moves in with triple shrooms here in 8th. It is going to be
eats that banana that comes in. That was a really clutch eat, by the way, because the banana just came out of nowhere.
Slater's in 2nd. I think that might be James behind her. I didn't catch her back camera, but that leaves potentially Royal and then also one of the other Roys, which is going to be, I believe that's going to be Sebi, potentially up there in the front there battling.
And Blue Shell coming in, gonna hit
and a
first.
shock. Now we see it, and that's
there's the
first
first shock
from one of those Waluigi's in the back, or potentially that player that bulleted up there in last. But it is Jordy and Royal that were there up in the front, and this is huge for Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine got it really
good. She has
good.
the dodge, and she also has a defensive item behind it.
This couldn't have been any better for Jasmine at the moment, because she has everything that she could possibly want. She has a shock dodge. Well, I spoke because the red shell comes in too quickly for her to avoid it, and now she's back into 8th. I just shouldn't talk, you know? Shouldn't say anything.
I hope we didn't cast a cursor there, because like
I probably did.
I don't like that when you can't move your defensive item back in time. Oh, but I think she's gonna get a great bomb snipe though. No, it doesn't connect with anybody. But now the boomerang coming into play, she's gonna end somebody's day.
Yeah,
Royal
she got
doesn't
bumped.
look like that worked out well for him. But now does get 9th, bombed at the line, and I'm not sure who got away with that. That was Ryans and James, then Daruk. So with John Slater getting last, oh man, he falls down to 4th. Daruk is now up by 6.
Wow. I'd like to also point out that she got bumped out of the double item box, and if she got that double item box, her position would have been way different, because she at least probably would have gone mushrooms. So whoever bumped her, you really screwed her over.
So New Leaf did mention that there were 9 tracks banned. So that would mean that there are 39 available. It's basic math, especially this early in the morning. It's 10:30. But yeah, I appreciate everyone kind of tuning in. This is a really fun kind of precursor to everyone kind of going into Amplified today. Pray for us. We're in Group A. But obviously, whatever group you're in, it's going to be a lot of fun. And looking forward to just a series of matches that are going to come from there. And really cool to see just the different variety of players that entered into this New Leaf tournament. I mean, you have some of the top players that are, D1, D2, D3. You have like a free agent like Sam coming in and trying to test his luck from racing more on the land side of things coming into his first competitive tournament. You have kind of those hybrid guys that do both, kind of like PH, and then you also do have like a player like Ridge coming in who was streaming, obviously had some history with the scene, and now has proved himself. Unfortunately, he got some really bad luck there in his room, but we are going to be going into here on Cheeseland, Kyret.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see this track not banned. It's also interesting to see Jasmine. Well, I was about to say Jasmine's running, but I don't think she is.
She's just wrecking everyone in her head.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
People just that's what actually that's one of my pet peeves. It's like you got to commit on Cheeseland. You're either gonna bag or you're gonna run. There's no like in between for me. And
Yeah.
and yeah, she just wanted to have a little fun before she rotated her items through. Gets rid of that piranha plant, not really of use to her. Now has this red shell, and hopefully she does pick up a double. Wow, double item box, a very quick shot coming into play. Nobody dodges. Actually, it looked like there could have been a couple frame dodges the way those Roys were moving. So there's probably some movement in the back, and they probably caught what was going on.
Pulling a star in third, that's just how many people bagged. I think 10 people from the lobby bagged, which that's insane. So,
yeah, well, we know Specs in second. We know one of the Waluigi's that's there in first. I'm guessing it might be. I'm not sure if it would be
Maximum, maybe.
We're gonna find out. I know. I just keep thinking like I'm trying to profile these players, and obviously I'm like a little bit less. That's Jordy. Yeah, so Jordy kind of taking an option there to go. We haven't talked too much about Jordy's kind of been all over the place in terms of placement. Probably just some unfortunate things happening there at the end. But man, you just saw that green kind of raise the heart rate a little bit. Squid's now back up here, and Spec sitting there with 2 reds. So
that's very scary.
What just happened there? Oh, he stops because of the blue, but can Jasmine dodge it? Does she know how to do it?
I mean, she's a high-level player. She should. Yeah, it takes the.
We always have to say that. Sorry, I'm used to playing with casuals. But yeah, I mean, she does know how to do it. But Slater now moves back.
Oh, that's really good for him.
So this is a little bit interesting. Good idea not to take the item there because she does need to use the shroom. Oh no! And man, that was just unfortunate luck for her because that red shell came into play.
Yeah, but she does have the piranha. I think she's going to get second. Yeah, she got second. All right. That's still a good position for her. But Slater getting first, I'm going to say that takes back his lead over Daruk. And by 2 points, yeah, Slater's back in the lead with Daruk in second with the best number.
It does by 2. And yeah, you had Sebi there in third, James there in fourth, Royal there in fifth. And even, I mean, there is just such a close gap, too. We didn't really talk about it, but such a close gap between even some of the top contenders there. I think we need to take a step back and kind of get and analyze that there once we see those standings again. And we are seeing what Jasmine's going to pick here, and looks like she's going to be going for Bone Dry. So
wow,
Bone Dry, Piranha Plant, where's Gold Mine, 2 at the Dentist, 2 at Excite Bike, Sherbert Land, Cloud Top, DYC, and we're seeing Mount Wario. So just goes to show you, I think by process of elimination, we'll have to see exactly what could have been banned.
I mean, I feel like RDKJ was banned, RWS was banned, but those are like the 2 tracks I can only think of. Maybe DSPS, because I haven't seen that picked, but I don't know. We're going to Excite Bike, though, which is one of my favorite tracks to bag, actually. Just because you can just go up to the front so fast, and it's so fun to do so.
So Slater going to be starting from the pole position here, followed by Jasmine, and she's doing pretty good. I have to double check and see where she is overall, but again,
I think she's in fourth.
Like all over. Yeah, I think she is in fourth. She's doing a good job. She's also relatively close. Has some really good finishes to kind of counteract one of those bad ones or two. Does opt to take that double there from John, and now just has the banana. And then you do see Ryan's there in third behind her, so good use of the back camera there. Spec is up there. We're seeing another Wario player up there. We're seeing probably James. James has been opting to bag a lot of the Roy gang back there.
The Roy gang.
You caught that reference. Nobody else will, but it's fine. Anyways. Yeah, we're seeing a battle up front. I think the main thing that we should all be watching out for, and I mean, it doesn't require me to say this, it's just where's the movement going to come from the back with the blue shell or the shock? We're seeing some things happen there. There is that Roy that's borderline, not, I wouldn't say right around the distance just yet, but it's pretty close. Now we're seeing some stars come up. Jasmine here with the bomb. And watch this bomb
Jasmine got
bounce.
sniped.
Oh, but it bombs her.
Oh no, that's not what you want.
I don't think she realized it went below, in between the gaps between the jumps.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I know she was trying to snipe Slater, but honestly, earlier on, I would have tried back throwing the bomb. But she misses the chain at the beginning of lap 1, and that's not where you want to miss a chain. But pulls triple greens, which is, again, not the item that you want, especially since she's in 11th right now. Grabs the single, and now she's stuck with triple mushrooms, which I don't think this is not going to be her race.
So can Slater hang on, or is someone going to utilize the cut? He had a little bit of a gap kind of going in, and so unfortunately for Jasmine, wow, avoids that green.
Wow.
She's unfortunately going to fall back to last, but I think Slater did wrap that one up.
Yeah.
Huge win for him. Maxim and Stevens there coming in there for third. So Jasmine's still there in fourth. Slater now has a 9-point lead over Daruk, and then an 11-point lead there, I believe, over James. So
yeah.
I'll confirm that as I look at the delay. But oh man, we are actually very, very close to what the actual stream is seeing. So maybe you caught it, but what that means though is that as we're heading in these later races, it's really it could potentially be a 2 to 3 person race at this point.
I think I saw Jasmine in fourth with 66, so it looks like it's just gonna be a runaway from top 3 because James is 2 points behind Daruk, and Daruk is 9 points behind Slater. So it's either Slater's gonna take this, or Daruk or James is gonna clutch and steal it.
I mean, because technically there is 14 points makes you like mathematically eligible, but granted, if you're 14 points behind, you literally have to bank on them getting like bottom 2, which is very rare.
Yeah.
So now we're going very bag heavy here, going to DYC. So I would expect a shock to come into play, bullet extensions, all that fun stuff. But Daruk, yeah, it's going to need to get something to go here, and then Slater is going to need to make a mistake. But we do have 3 races left, so realistically, there's still plenty of time for like the top 5, top 6 to shake something up if they really could.
But I mean, fourth is 20 points behind first, so I mean, like there is a chance that Jasmine and Spec, which has 65 in fifth, to catch up to Slater, but it's gonna take a lot of work. They can't screw up for these next couple of races. But 10 more people bagging again, and there's just chaos going on back here. Well, we have Jasmine in 7th, and I believe Slater's gonna be the one running up in the front there, on his own. Just no one trying to challenge his run, so everyone else is just gonna be left to bag while Slater just runs.
Very interesting strategy. I mean, it's not like he has a lot to lose.
True.
Because he has that gap.
That lead, yeah.
But yeah, you're literally just seeing Waluigi's, Roy's, and then Stevens there in the Wario, just trailing him here. But I think something's about to happen. You see the distance. You know everyone's starring up, and I think someone that does have potentially a shock, or if someone goes for the bullet extension, they're waiting for those players to get out of dodges. We're seeing one opt to use a bullet. It's like Christmas. I mean, everything's lighting up right now.
Golden in second getting stolen. I've never seen a golden in second in my life that's not from a glider box. So that just shows you how big the gap is from Slater and Jasmine right now.
And there's the shock. And whoever had it, maybe it was Stevens. You don't know. I mean, they waited till one player was there in the dodge. Well, granted, Jasmine's in the dodge as well.
Jasmine,
so
you got this.
I know, but there were arguably 2 players in there. She's going to take the
Oh, no.
He opens up, and guess who it is? It's none other than John Slater. Oh, and that red gets blocked, and now Royal with the bullet extension coming out of nowhere. So a lot of these players from behind saving up their bullets, and that was, I think, the flaw in Slater's strategy here, but it's not going to matter. He's still very close to the front. You're seeing James come in there from the extension, and a few players behind Jasmine as well.
Yeah, James really needs this to catch up to Slater in any way, shape, or form. So the fact that James is in front of Slater right now is really good for him.
Oh, man.
Oh, the blue.
The price is wrong. Jordy.
Oh, my
Jasmine,
God.
And another player. That might have been. Oh, Slater gets 9.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
James would happen.
Comes out James the benefactor really of that. And I don't know how I mean,
I don't know.
I knew that these players are smart. There was going to be a big brain
Mhm.
play. Someone was sitting and waiting with all of those stars lighting up, waiting to use the shock to dodge the least amount of people possible. I think, dodging too. Obviously, that player wasn't aware that Jasmine was in the boo at the time,
Mhm.
but was aware that one of the Roys, it could have been Royal, it could have been potentially. Take a look here. Could have been James, or even could have been Sebi. Dodged one of them, and then that opens the door, and then all those players kind of rushed in there with the bullets at the end. But
Mhm.
those back spams, so brutal. And realistically, you thought Slater had a great idea. Run away from everybody. He's got 9 points. What could possibly go wrong? And
That's exactly what went wrong. He's now
yeah,
he only has a 3-point lead over James now, so James can really steal this away from him.
yeah, that's huge. And so James getting a clutch finish there. Now this has just kind of changed things up dramatically.
Yeah. And it seems like we're going to Sherbetland. Not very often picked tracks, so I mean, I'm really interested to see how these racers play on this one.
The only time will tell. 2 races to go, and what we are going to do is I'm going to get ready to potentially get our scene in here to give some final words here at the end of the tournament. But Kyret, take the first lap if you want it.
All right, so it's my time to shine. So we have Jasmine here in around 6, coming in right behind Jordy, Ryan's, and James right here. All Waluigi and Roy's, because apparently those are the 2 meta characters. Alroy backing one of the Waluigi's there. Slater coming up behind Jasmine here. And Slater now takes the lead with a mushroom, as well as Jasmine. Jasmine drafting Slater, which twice actually takes the cut here. Now Slater's in second, right behind Jasmine. Jasmine takes the double here. And this Baby Daisy's coming up behind. I actually don't know who that is, since I don't believe we've seen a Baby Daisy this entire finals, so we'll have to see who that is. And it seems like it's Sebi out of all people. And now Slater's in second here. And Knight, the first lap's over. But I'll keep talking.
I'm well
since
aware.
you're
No,
right
you're
there.
good. You're good. We're getting some things ready to go here as most of the casters are in this one. So
Yeah.
we're following Squids, and we're seeing a lot of the New Leaf crew doing a pretty good job here, or at least Cherish, which is a huge influence there of New Leaf.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
I
but
think for Jasmine, oh man,
Jasmine's just getting
unfortunate
redded
timing.
after redded. 3 reds in a row. Wow. I thought
Blue
she was
Shell
doing
coming
well.
in, it's either going to hit that new Baby Daisy or that could hit Slater. So we'll have to see who exactly that hits. It's going to hit John, and so that's unfortunate for him. But something might have happened to where he
Yeah, I
could have
think he
taken the
dodged.
lead.
Yeah.
He did dodge it. Good. So for him, he's going to have at least a little bit of breathing room, but he's got the whole pack behind him. Jasmine here bulleting back up.
Yeah. Sebi, I think Love Me is Sebi, correct? Just making
Yes,
sure.
love
Okay.
me and
Yeah.
Sebi.
Yes. Then since Sebi's in second right now, Jasmine missing the chain, which honestly is not the greatest. Could take the cut, could opt not to. Gets hit by a bullet instead, but then eventually takes the cut. Probably going for double. Yep, gets the double. And now Jasmine has to rush to finish. Slater taking the win there, which that's really big for him. I don't know where James is right now. If James is the Roy in last, there's a story to be told there.
Yeah, James
And
finishes
James
11th.
got 11th. Yeah. Wow. I predicted that. Wow. Now
Oh
James.
man, 105 to 89. That's going to do it.
Slater won. Slater won. Slater won. It's a 16-point lead. Slater wins. This last race doesn't mean anything for Slater. Slater could literally get last and nothing happens. So Slater taking away the victory here over James. And now it's just a battle for second and third. I couldn't catch what the point score for third was, but I know James has 89 and Slater has 105 at the moment.
Yeah, that was huge stuff right there, and a very clutch performance, especially after the chaos that ensued on DYC for John Slater to get things going. Somehow got out of that blue shell, and if that blue shell hit, this would be a totally different discussion right now.
Mm-hmm. That's just what we were talking about. One thing going wrong can mean your race is ruined. That's how brutal this game is sometimes. Also, I see a desert pick, so it seems that desert wasn't banned either, which that's kind of strange.
I mean, it's a lottery ticket track. I would probably expect more running tracks to be banned.
Yeah, I guess.
But it really kind of depends on the player. I mean, some runners might want to pick a lottery ticket track.
Yeah.
But we are going to Cloud Top.
Yeah. Third was 86, fourth was 80, fifth was 78. So yeah, it's definitely a battle for the top 3 here, or at least for the second and third positions. So I think it's a battle between second to fifth for that second or third spot here.
Hey,
So
Kyret, can you refresh your browser? Because I think you're like 10 seconds behind. That's what the chat's saying. I think I refresh mine regularly, but just FYI, you should refresh yours.
okay.
Because right now we are going here into this first lap. We're almost a quarter of the way through it right now, and Jasmine here behind Maxim and a series of the Royals. It's going to be Royal and more than likely James. So
Yeah, it is James.
Jasmine's going to get hit here, and my Siri on my cell phone is calling people. So give me 1 minute.
I think we're good now. Um,
Are you seeing all the electricity?
yes,
Cool.
and Jasmine just hit the glider,
She
so I
did,
think we're good
and
now.
has the boo, and then the 3 shrooms behind as well.
Mm-hmm. Takes the leaf cut. Sebi right next to her, and I believe that was another Waluigi. I couldn't catch the name there, but gets 6 mushrooms to boot. Uses 3 of them immediately to chain. Goes for the double here. Doesn't actually gets the chain though with the star. So now Jasmine has a star and triple mushrooms in 7th, right behind Spec Stevens and John Slater, the man of the hour here.
So I think for Jasmine, she just needs to have a very consistent finish here to kind of lock up fourth. I think second right now is
Yeah.
between James and Daruk. I don't know the exact gap, but that's kind of the battle right now is the battle for second between those two. Green coming in, it clips Steven, so very unfortunate for him. And now
Yeah.
Spec and James here coming in into this top 3, trailing what I'm guessing might be. I'm not sure. I will always say that that's Maxim, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong
I
because
would also
Doherty's
say
back
that's
there.
Maxim. But Spec with a dragged red, I'd be really scared of that if I was Jasmine right now. Takes the left path, that's probably the red option. Blue Shell comes in. Um, Probably gonna hit whoever the Waluigi is. I still think that's Maxim. Could be wrong though. Yeah, Spec still has the dragged red. Almost hit it from Jasmine, but Ryan's is right there with a star in 4th.
Oh,
Comes in, gets boxed out.
yeah,
That's
Jasmine
not good for
item screen
Jasmine.
here going over the final cut. Someone gets hit. She gets hit with the green.
Oh,
Going over the
falls
lead.
off.
Oh, that's an unfortunate. That's going to be a 12 for her.
That is
Ryan's, though, Ryan's
that
gives her the
sucks.
spot. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, they're backing. She's backing up. Someone's got to finish 11th, guys.
Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, I believe in you.
We got to amplify. We got to.
There we go. Good job.
All
Continue.
right. But it's going to be James, then Maxim. So we were right for once. It was Maxim. And John Slater does end up winning this thing by 8 points. James beats Daruk out for second.
Yeah, and that was a big gap between second. It was a 15-point gap. It was basically the exact same gap that John Slater had against James going
But
into that
but
last
look at
race.
fourth through seventh, fourth through
That's
like eighth
so
or ninth.
close.
That last or 11th for Jasmine drops her all the way back to seventh overall. And the biggest thing too was is these guys were fighting for the top 3. So I mean, fourth was kind of where everyone was battling from. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean that had huge implications there for Jasmine.
Yeah, that's why she was really upset at the end there because she could have gotten a much higher position if she didn't get knocked off. She probably could have gone third, honestly, if she held her position.
Yeah, so that was an incredible ending. And so congratulations there to John Slater and also James. I believe that was Royal there. Or no, sorry, Daruk and James there for
Yeah.
second and third. But we do have Arsene, who is here from New Leaf Esports. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not the best, but you're
It's
Damien, right?
after the Persona 5 character. Well, not the character, the persona from Persona 5. But yeah, it's Arsene. But yeah, I'm Damien. I'm head of New Leaf Esports. And it's been really, really awesome to see this cast. I think it's been a really, really good event overall. And yeah, it's just been really nice to see a lot of players showing up as well that do come to have come like did go to our LAN and stuff like that, and thinking about coming to the one that we're having in April as well.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, and I think we mentioned it before too. I mean, I know you're trying to really build the scene, especially throughout Europe, not just obviously the UK. And Kyret and I kind of a part of trying to grow the US side of things to some degree. So what would you say kind of prompted you? I mean, we'll get to the tournament in a second because I thought the tournament was phenomenal. But what
Hmm.
Yeah,
what kind of was the catalyst behind kind of starting New Leaf and then kind of getting to where you're at today, where you've done 2 online tournaments, you've done Embrace already. What's kind of led you to this point?
I'm not sure. I think there was a point where because I've been playing Mario Kart now competitively for like quite a long time, and I think there was a point where it's just like you just really want to get together with the people that you've been playing with like for so long and have fun playing the game. And what better way to do that than to kind of, organize these tournaments and get people involved, create those really awesome environments where people can have a great time doing what they love. I think
Yeah, that's
we
huge.
saw it really well because I have to give a shout out here because to Arcadia, actually, the team, because for Embrace the Change, like 7 of them all came up from all over the world and came to the tournament together. And it was fantastic to see. It was exactly the kind of reason we started doing it in the first place. So yeah, there's that kind of thing where you have these people who've been playing video games together for years and years and they've never met each other. And it's so awesome to see when they finally, meet in the flesh and you have those genuine friendships. It's really cool.
It really is. Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, we kind of take that for granted, just because I think 14 out of like 28 or 29 of us, we actually meet every week at the very
Yeah.
bare minimum. But it is really cool just when you're establishing that connection and you're kind of like, wow, over time, I've known this individual, I've been their teammate for so long. And now it's really cool to put, a face with the name and really kind of build that relationship even stronger. And at the same time, I think this is almost turning into an infomercial, but I think you're growing the scene. You're having those
Yeah.
you're not only you're accomplishing two things at once is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing because we are completely community funded. We don't have any sponsors. We don't have, everything for Embrace the Change basically came out of very small donations and our own pockets, which was crazy. And it wasn't a huge amount that we spent because I managed to get some quite good deals on like the venues and stuff like that. But we had people bringing their own monitors, people bring their own consoles. This time around, because of events like this, we've had some fantastic donations. So we will be able to kind of provide more things and have our kind of our own equipment, as it were. But that kind of grassroots scene is really what we wanted to see. That's what we're trying to build up right from the ground. So this tournament, half of the money from all the entry fees is going straight towards our LAN in. It will be in Cambridge, in England, in April. So that's what this is funded.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a bummer too. I'm gonna be there in June. I don't know if I can
Oh
justify
no,
coming out there in April,
man!
but
cancel esports overall, man.
but how would you say our scene? How would you say that this tournament has went? What are kind of your thoughts overall on the tournament here
Yeah.
before we bring in
So,
John?
so to put things into perspective, we opened this up initially, and Savannah, who's another one of the admins for New Leaf, said that she'd run a tournament like this on Mario Kart Wii before, and it was a really good way to kind of get some money towards putting towards things. And I was like, okay, let's do it. But I didn't really expect very much. And actually, until a couple of days ago, we only had about 10 signups. So to see 30, like basically 30 people, right? It was 29, 30 in the end, turn up and play was really cool. And just to like have that atmosphere and the quality of the gameplay as well. I mean, you've seen the different streams. Jasmine's, Royal's been streaming as well. I think a couple of other people were as well. I was actually at work until a short time ago, so I've only just got home. But so I didn't catch the first round. So, but the quality of the gameplay in the finals, we've seen like pretty much all the way until the last 2 races there. There were pretty much 4 or 5 people who could have walked away with money, and that's really cool to see.
I
Yeah,
would honestly say that the first round was just as exciting, if not more, than the finals.
that's really
Because
cool.
I mean, Kyret's room was literally coming down the last turn between 8 out of like the 9 players, and I mean, and there was another room I knew that was close, another room that kind of had to do a quick reset that came down to the wire too. So I thought it was really well done. I think just for time's sake, let's bring in John Slater.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
some individuals do have Amplify coming up. So, Cinda, we are ready when you are to bring in our winner here. And Arsene, do you have a question for John since you're running
John,
the show?
how does it
Hello.
feel? How does it feel winning big money on the esports?
Well, it's definitely a different feeling than I expected winning a tournament like this because, I mean, in the past and especially more recently, like whenever I'd play like a Mario Kart Mogi or free for all or tournament or whatever, like I wasn't really taking it like as seriously as I could have, just simply because there was no real benefit to really trying hard for it. But then this tournament comes around and we're actually getting paid some fat cash for it. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Dollar.
yeah, I actually was playing like in the lounge quite a bit to prepare for this in a
Oh,
sense.
that's cool.
So,
That's really cool to see.
Especially considering like I've been getting kind of rusty at this game. So
Mhm.
lounge actually kind of helped me like do as well as I did today. So yeah, it definitely feels really good winning. And this is like the first individual tournament that I've ever won pretty much. Like in 8U and 8D, this is the only individual tournament I've won.
That's really cool. You
Quote
chose the right
Rusty.
time, right?
Yeah, exactly, dude. But yeah, it feels great to win this. I definitely didn't see it coming, especially given some of the competition, especially in the first room too. I was a little concerned if I would even advance in the first room, just simply because it was so intense between the top 4.
Yeah, I can vouch for you. Definitely, that room was so bad.
Talk about the first room real quick, because some of us were watching Ridge's stream when he was streaming that. Talk about kind of how that room kind of differed from maybe the finals room, and just kind of, or even like your overall journey from going through that to the finals.
All right, so before I compare the first room to the finals, I want to talk about the first room compared to the other 2 rooms in the semifinals, because you just have to take a look at like the top players in each of the 3 rooms, and you can see that there was a very significant difference between room 1 and room 2 and 3. No offense to the players that I'm like referring to, of course, but I mean, you had James, Maxim, Ryans, and myself in room 1. And what do you know? Those were the 4 that advanced into the finals. So, I mean, realistically, anyone could have predicted that. But yeah, now going on to comparing room 1 to the finals, it was definitely a big difference, and especially regarding shocks as well, because in room 1 in the semifinals, I don't think there was a single shock in all 12 races. I don't think there was a single shock.
I don't think there was either. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think there was.
And especially because our room had 9 players, it was really easy to benefit by simply running and staying in like second or third for most of the time. And that's just simply what I did. And even though there was a few unlucky races in that room and in the finals, the strategy that I put forth in room 1 got me into the finals. And then that same strategy, despite the differences in the competitiveness of the room, I guess you could say, that was able to get me first place in the finals.
Yeah, I mean that room 1, you had Ridge in there as well, Kyret, you had Blight, you had
Samuel.
TLC.
Yeah.
Samuel being a player that just has never played competitive before, just moved to Vegas. Get this, simply to play competitive Mario Kart. Well, and go to school. You know. But
well,
I mean, when you hear that, it's wild that people are doing this.
But especially too though, because I know when like for the Las Vegas LAN tournament, isn't it like almost every Saturday?
Yeah.
Almost,
yeah. So that's the thing. Like if you're consistently winning, like that's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
So like if he really is winning like almost every single time, or second or third or whatever, like yeah, props to him. Like that honestly isn't even like that bad of an idea if you're just trying to make some, fat cash at a young age,
Yeah.
Props to him.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because it establishes a baseline, right? Like there was no one really in your room that was not in the show. Everyone was kind of in the show till the very end.
And that's what I want to mention too. I was actually really impressed by some of the players in that room because, I mean, I haven't really been paying attention to the community and how much like players have perhaps improved or whatnot. So from my perspective, it literally just looked like it would have been James, Ryan's, Maxim, and myself just running away with the top 4, and then there would have been a significant gap. So I was really impressed when there was like 4 people who were in contention to get 4th alongside Maxim.
Right into like the last race, it was a battle between like even third was a battle until James just like got like 2 wins in a row or something.
Yeah, for sure. James that's the thing too. James got an insanely good GP3, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't even advancing. Like he wasn't in the top 4 before he's just gotten an insane GP3, and then he just ends up getting first in the
yeah. Like
All
James
right,
came out of nowhere.
We do have Amplify coming up, so I hate to cut this, but let's do a quick rundown. We'll start with Damien, we'll go to Kyret, and then back to you, John, and do some quick final thoughts.
I want to give one final shout out, and this is actually to someone who made a massive donation to us the other day. My boy Mankalore
Hey.
dropped us. This helped fund this tournament, some of the prize pot, because he actually donated $100 to us, which is crazy. And yeah, I just really think that deserves some recognition because,
Well played.
like, that's kind of support, that kind of support keeps this community going. And
For sure.
we were able to drop an extra £50 on top of all the entry fee prize money because of that. So, those kind of donations, they keep these kind of high stakes tournaments going, and we are community run. So what I'll say finally, I guess, so yeah, my boy Mankalore coming in. What I'll say finally, we do have a website. If you want to check us out on what we do, www.newleafesports.com. We are having a LAN tournament in Cambridge, UK in April. If you want more information, we have a Discord server. All the links you can find, all our past tournaments are all on our website. And I want to shout out MKC as well. This has been a fantastic cast. Like, I was really enjoying just kind of watching the finals. So yeah, thank you guys for turning up and doing a great job. It's nice to see.
No worries. And Kyret, we're on to you.
All right, well, this tournament went a lot better than I was expecting, honestly. Like, with Room 1 just being so stacked, I was immediately being like, well, I don't have a chance at all. I'm just going to get screwed. Nothing's going to happen. And then I got a win in Yoshi Valley, and I'm like, well, maybe I have a chance, because then Water Park got picked, and I got top 3, and that's, like, one of my 2 best tracks. So I thought I had a chance going into, like, last GP. But then just a couple mistakes happened, and here we are tied for 6th. But 4th through 7th, or even 8th, I think, were like separated by like less than 10 points. So I was definitely surprised. Slater was definitely surprised in that room.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
casting grand finals was really fun, honestly. It was really interesting to see these just 12 people battle, and it turned out to not really be that close between like 5th or like 9th, but definitely top 3 were really close like the entire way. Slater with the double win. I'm just like, really, dude? Come on, bro. Make it interesting for us, bro. But then 211s kind of made it interesting.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a roller
Oh,
coaster of
man.
emotion from
All right, we'll go to
from
John.
the first couple of races. So
All right.
Slater, have at it.
So I didn't know we were on like a rough time frame, so I'll try to keep this short. But I mean, I've been thinking about like how I played in the free for all today, especially in the first GP like of the finals, because I mean I got 2 firsts and then 2 11s, so you could easily just say that I'm relying on my running skills to win. But if I'm being completely honest, like after that second 11th place I got 4th race, like I was giving her full throttle right after that. Like I think the next race was Moo Moo Meadows. And
probably, I don't know.
yeah, and at that point, I was really initiating my goal to just stay in second place or third or whatever every single race to make sure I wasn't in a position to get myself blued out of first. Especially since blue shells are so common in free for alls, because you only have to worry about yourself. If you get a blue shell, you're just gonna throw it.
Also,
anyway,
Slater.
Mm-hmm.
Slater, what happened at the end of Moo Meadows? We were like really wondering what happened.
So I don't remember what item I had in my first slot, but I had a red shell in my pocket. And prior to the last turn, I saw that Sebi, who was in first, backed the banana in a very weird spot. And that gave me the idea that he was going to really try hard to backspam me so I could lose spots at the end. So I made sure to keep my red hidden. And then I knew he would backspam on the last turn because everyone does that naturally. And at the very end, I threw away whatever I had in my first slot. I popped out my red shell, and he backspammed as soon as I threw it. And he had no time to protect himself, and I got first.
Wow.
We got to call it here, unfortunately, guys, because I know everyone's getting ready and geared up for Amplify. But the one thing I would just end this with is, yeah, shout outs to MKC, Cinda for being the invisible man, stream hosting this one, Kyret for casting. But I also do, think that, definitely give the New Leaf website a look. There are, obviously LAN tournaments going all over the world, some in the Netherlands, some here in the US, but New Leaf is doing is actually like a grassroots thing. It's not like a corporation coming in. We have the benefit of now having a sponsor, but it's all company run. These guys are starting this from the ground up. So definitely, you can donate, give them some of your attention, check them out. I'm sure we're going to be seeing them running some other things, and obviously Embrace 2 coming up there in April. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and kind of close this out because we do have Amplify coming up. So best of luck to everyone there. But this is going to be it for me, Knight here, Kyret, Damien, John Slater, the man himself, and also
Full
for Cinda.
throttle.
Yeah, we will all see you guys next time, I believe, for Amplify coverage. But until then, best of luck and
Peace out.
yeah, Godspeed.
Peace.